The hunter-gatherer. Let's say your plane crash or your boat capsizes. You're on a remote island or stranded on top of a mountain or in the middle of the Amazon jungle. What are you going to do? Who's on the plane? Well, we have a scientist, we have an anthropologist, an archaeologist, we have a botanist, we have a real estate mogul, we have an artist, we have an actor, we have a soccer player, we have an engineer, and we have a preacher. Question. What are you going to do? Oh, I forgot. And we have a hunter. So with that assortment of people, that hodgepodge collection of an average downtown city office building, minus the hunter. He's not downtown. He came along for the ride. You have snacks, some food that has survived the crash. Ration it, you might survive for 7 days. What do you do after your food supply is depleted? Which in the party of survivors, and all of those particular ones survived, that I aforementioned, are the most valuable? Now, the real estate mogul probably makes the most money alongside with the actor. And then, of course, the engineer and the scientist make a reasonable income. And the preacher, depending on if he's a television preacher, one of those charlatans, he may have a reasonable income, or he might be a real preacher, and he doesn't have much money, if any at all. What are you going to do? Which one's the most valuable to the survivor's expedition? Well, there's only one. No, it's not the engineer. It's not the preacher. Sorry. It's the hunter. The hunter leapfrogs past all of you with degrees and great jobs. The wonderful, dramatic, charismatic preacher. The famous, beautiful actor or actress. And the very cerebral scientists and archaeologists. Or artist. No, the hunter. That one amongst you that's a bit rugged, rough, not very classy necessarily. A little brutish, a little harsh, maybe stinky, maybe bearded. Yeah. He's your most valuable asset. Engineers don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to forage. And remember, society, humanity, the hunter-gatherer. Isn't that how we started? The hunter-gatherer. You know how to chase down a giant animal? Know where and how to kill it, and know how to cut it open and gut it and bleed it, I cringe at that thought. But not the hunter. The hunter-gatherer is going to keep all of you alive. He'll know how to hunt. Foraging, he'll know how to gather. You're going to eat something that's going to kill you. You don't even know what to eat. That mushroom is going to kill you, not heal you. You don't know which leaf is going to give you an immediate burning and deterioration of your skin. Peel off like an onion. You won't know what bark and what tree sap to avoid. You have no idea. But the hunter-gatherer has that knowledge. The most valuable person in the survival expedition. And you can see in society we put the wrong emphasis on the wrong people. And we diminish the hunter-gatherer. And another skill the hunter-gatherer may have that's very good for you if you should find yourself in the middle of a jungle. Maybe there's a hostile tribe. Hostile in that you are really the hostility. You're in their neighborhood. They don't know who you are. Who's going to protect you? The hunter-gatherer. There are skills that are necessary for society. And we have so diminished men, and we told them they all need to put on a tie and a shirt and sit in an office. No, they don't. A very small group of them need to do that, actually. It's not about the money or a shiny office. You know, the money that's wasted in business just because somebody wants to be in a corner office or have shiny glass or fancy tables and floors or cubicles. The amount of money that's wasted in business to look polished at the end of the day, that brings very little value. Like a beautiful woman on the outside who doesn't know how to cook or clean or raise children or love a husband or be faithful. That makeup comes off, by the way, and that firm body will get soft, and that hair will grow gray. You need a woman that's a woman from the inside, not from the outside. Only. And the best part of the outside is not the fake side, not the facade, the charade, or the mask. That'll keep your marriage strong, and that'll keep your children healthy. A real woman. A real man. The hunter-gatherer. 3%, we talk about the black community and the amount of crime that's committed by my fellow black Americans. We have one of the smallest percentage of population in a country of 340 million people, and yet we are the highest percentage of crime, ages between 12 and 40. Commit somewhere upwards to 60 or more % of all of the crime. Why? We also have the largest percentage of fatherless homes. And I believe, if I'm correct, and I may have confused that percentage, because the homes without fathers is somewhere between 60 to 70%. But the crime rate that we commit in this country is higher than any other group. And we're amongst the smallest, a percentage in the minority class. The Latin Hispanic community has surpassed the black community in population, and primarily because blacks, like many whites, don't have babies. Whites are already a large population, but blacks couldn't afford to lose anything that they have. We are the smallest. We're not having babies. The whites aren't having babies, but there's enough white people for it still to die off before they get to the numbers that we're at. And the Hispanics and other foreigners are having babies like crazy. So through population, they're overpacing our political footprint and influence simply by having more babies, more votes, more people to produce and more people to consume. They become a valuable, valuable commodity to business. No fathers. That's the hunter-gatherer. If you were wondering where I was going with that. No fathers. And the Great Society program ruined all Americans for the most part, whites and blacks, but particularly blacks, which before that program were on course to be at parity, par, with the white society, until the government incentivized no fathers. And then built these massive ghetto projects to keep the black community out of the white community with houses and land. Apartment living is what you want. Buildings on top of buildings. Chicago was ground zero for that. And they copied it throughout the rest of the country. Very sad. The hunter-gatherer doesn't hunt rats in an apartment building. He hunts bison and elk and moose. But we've lost that ability. And we've demonized those men. They are an invaluable source for humanity. And we need them. We need men who can do that very well. We need a group of men that can be doctors. And yes, we need engineers that can build the bridges and help to secure the roads. But none of that would mean anything without a hunter-gatherer to give you food for your survival so you can sit in a classroom or in an office. So the preacher can build a chapel, a synagogue, preach to the spiritual development. Can't preach to dead bodies for the most part, unless you're planning on resurrecting dead bodies. So then how are you going to feed them? They'll just keep dying. You need a hunter-gatherer that can keep us physically fed and alive. You need one, or perhaps you should be one. Something to think about.